We are live. Welcome back, Speed Labsters. We got another fun day planned for you. Got some more motion athletics, motion athlete stuff to cover. Some nice animation AI stuff that got great responses last time. I have fun watching it, so we're going to watch some of those. We have some film to review from one of our Speed Lab community members who submitted some film. So thank you for that. And then possibly, if we have enough time, there's another track all access with the University of Georgia and Coach Carol Smith, who is excellent, top tier coach. If we don't get to that today, because I do have to leave soon, actually, then we will get it tomorrow or Friday. So here we go. Motion Athletics. Again, one of the great channel here with a bunch of videos that I'd like to cover. This one happens to be fastest 100-meter times in history compared, decade by decade. Again, Motion Athletics, if you haven't been, it's a motion athlete, keep saying Motion Athletics. Motion Athlete, if you haven't been to their channel, it's a great page, and I look forward to reviewing more of their things that they have created for us using animation. But as I said today, we're going over fastest 100-meter times in history compared, decade by decade. Let's watch. Let me make sure you can see what I'm seeing because that doesn't always happen for me. Okay. Ooh, crazy. Very excited to watch this. 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, 2020. You could kind of see also by the structure of their body who's who, right? You got your Usains over here being tall. I saw some Maurice Green in there. That's going to be fun to watch Maurice Green, track legend. I always love learning about the history of this sport. So let's watch and let's learn. 1960. Jim Hines, USA, 1960. How fast was he?
And there goes Gene Hines, lowering the track, loading the speed, all the way through. Just so smooth, so relaxed. He's charging for the line. What's the clock? 9.95. Wow.
RIP to Jim Hines. Let's watch that back. How fast was he?
And there goes Gene Hines, lowering the track.
He played baseball before choosing track. We actually occasionally have very talented baseball players because our baseball team is very competitive, the high school that I coach at. So not everyone makes the team, unfortunately, but then they come out to track, fortunately, and they are some athletes occasionally. So it makes you wonder how good the baseball team really is because some good athletes get cut.
Loading the speed, all the way through. Just so smooth, so relaxed. He's charging for the line. What's the clock? 9.95.
995, the first man ever under 10 seconds. First to officially run under 10 seconds with fully automatic timing, while earlier sub-10s were only hand timed.
Wow.
You got look at the cool official over here. It's a nice little red hat with a gold coat. It's a nice fit. Standing next to the board, almost in front of it. Very good. Sadly, he died in 2023. RIP to the legend Jim Hines. His legacy forever inspires generation of sprinters. Okay, 1970s. Let's see who Jim Hines has to go up against in the first round in the 1970s. A bit smaller in stature, also bronze colored. Interesting. Silvio Leonard from Cuba. Nice fits. Look at the jerseys. Crowd's a little empty for two legends going at it, but that's okay. We'll forgive the crowd.
Eugen Ray got the best start. Steve Williams inside him and Leonard in lane 6.
Prime was 1977. His biggest regret coming to the Moscow Olympics as the clear favorite. Uh-oh, what happened? And finishing second. I would regret that too.
Se siente olvidado de alguna manera, completamente olvidado del
So sad. Don't worry about it. What's this guy's name again?
What's the clock? 9.95. Wow.
Don't worry about it. Silvio Leonard. We're not letting you get forgotten. Not yet, at least.
Eugen Ray got the best start. Steve Williams inside him and Leonard in lane 6 with Manea.
Se siente olvidado de alguna manera, completamente olvidado del
You feel like you're being forgotten? Completely forgotten.
Up they go. Hines, USA.
Enter Judah, average step barely 15.
Oh, we got a stare down? Hold up.
manera, completamente olvidado del
Run that back, Turbo.
Up they go. Hines, USA.
Enter Judah, average step barely 15 meters, still side by side.
What's going to tell? Here comes the finish, and Hines loses. Silvio Leonard just behind. Wow, that was a close race.
Silvio Leonard, 998. He goes ahead, looks over.
Up they go. Hines, USA.
Enter Judah, average step barely.
Looks over at about the 30 or the 40. It looks as though he has it. Behind stays focused.
15 meters.
Silvio Leonard, you lost your eye on the ball. You forgot where you were at. That's,
Still side by side.
What's going to tell? Here comes the finish, and Hines loses. Silvio Leonard just behind. Wow, that was a close race.
1980s. For those that don't know, my main event was actually the long jump. So definitely looked up to the legend here, Carl Lewis from the 80s. Carl Lewis, athlete of the century. $100, $200 long jump 4x1 relay. Let's go ahead and look at this long jump real fast. And that, my friends, is called flying. My coach used to say, you can't be scared to fly, directly in relation to knee drive off the board. Look at that. He runs off the board, and look at this knee drive. Look at that. Knees still punching up. He's patient, tight, hips going up. Now he begins his cycles. Right gravity. Fully extended. Nice. Nine-time Olympic champ, 8-time world champ. Lewis and Hines showing each other a little USA support. They leaving bruh from Cuba all out there, Silvio.
And there we go. Hines and Leonard already ahead. Carl Lewis just behind. And here comes Lewis still Lewis. 9.92. What a show, ladies and gentlemen.
992 for Carl Lewis. He wins with a 992 set at the 1988 Olympics. Now, interesting note about these Olympics is that there was another runner who actually beat Carl Lewis with a 979. Right? His name is Ben Johnson, and he's often referred to as the scapegoat of the, where are these? Oh, yeah, the Seoul Olympics. So Korea Olympics. 1988, he runs 979. Unfortunately, gets busted for steroids. Now, he should have been disqualified for using steroids. It's against the rules. However, it was well known that many athletes around this time were also using steroids, and it seems as though Ben Johnson was the scapegoat for numerous other athletes in the Olympic finals. I will not name names, but if you're going to disqualify Ben Johnson, then other athletes should have also been disqualified. Not to mention how great of a time 979 was in 1980, right? That's something that's not broken often even today. And so back then it's even more impressive because the saying goes, you stand on the shoulders of those who came before you. You stand on the shoulders of the giants that came before you. You learn, you grow as far as sports are concerned. And so for Ben Johnson to run 979, albeit with a little exogenous help, still very impressive. So we can't forget about Ben Johnson in the 1988 Seoul Olympics either, because he also is a legend, despite despite the fact that he was caught and scapegoated for the steroid uses. By the way, 3 years later, he ran 986. And still, as great as that is, not better than 979 from our good friend Ben Johnson. So that is his. Look at that race. I wonder who we have in that race. I gotta go back and watch throwbacks. The problem with track is that they want to demonetize you for watching the shit. Like, bro, nobody's trying to watch track. Let me watch it and share it with you all, and you all be able to watch it with me, and then we can make the sport popular and dope. But they want to have all the fucking okay. They don't like you watching their stuff for whatever reason. Copyright. They want all the money. That's the reason. That was in 1991. What a great year. And in the 90s, someone was even faster. Who might this be? I'm excited to see. Oh, a tiny guy. Mo Green, baby.
What's up? I'm Maurice Green, the world champion, Olympic gold medalist, and world record holder. Catch me.
Known for his fierce starts and even fiercer celebration. Yes, the fire hydrant on the shoes after the finish is a legendary celebration and one you should not try because it will get you DQ'd. And I've seen it happen. I literally saw it happen last year at California State Meet, the biggest meet in the nation. And someone's daughter got DQ'd and she won the race, the finals, and got DQ'd for doing exactly that. So shouldn't have done that. I'll say that Maurice Green was known for his intensity that he brought to the sport, focus, really put the fear into his competitors, which is going to be different to our next competitor that we're going to see. But I didn't know he was that small. Is he that short? Maybe.
And they are. Oh, Maurice Green explodes from his rise. What a start! 640 and 60 meters for Green. He's also it all. He's charging to the line. 9.79. Incredible performance by Morris Green.
4 feet in front of everyone else. 9.79. There we go. So it took 20 years for another person to run 9.79 after Ben Johnson. So he may have been that short, actually. He doesn't look too tall on me. And typically when you have a better start, you're a shorter person. That's how it goes. And this was a hell of a start.
And they are. Oh, Morris
Nice drive.
Green explodes on his lines.
One of the best starters in history.
640 and 60.
60-meter split, 6.40 compared to Carl Lewis, 6.48 compared to our OG there, 6.50. I forget who that is.
Here's for Green. He doesn't finish it all. He's
Look at that distance in front, striking.
charging to the line. 9.79.
Maurice wins with a margin of 1.47 meters or 4 feet 10 inches.
Incredible performance by Morris Green. There is just behind.
See, look how small he is. Interesting. Okay, but here comes the 2000s. We know who it is, or do we? Yes, sir. The greatest of all time, the GOAT.
Last 10 minutes, you're not going to catch me. No matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, you're not going to catch me.
I love it.
And they are. Morris Green as expected. But Usain Bolt is just right there. He moves back. He's checking the field. Through the line. 9.58.
No matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, you're not going to catch me.
So again, Usain Bolt, one of the greatest. Usain Bolt, the greatest of all time. Also, like, was refreshing, right? When he showed up on the scene, there was very intense competition among all the 100-meter competitors. They felt like they had to put some intimidation and some fear into the people around them. And here comes this tall, lanky Jamaican guy who is full of life and dances and smiles and points to the crowd in a much different feel than what we were used to in terms of sprinters. And it was quite refreshing, as I said, and again, very charismatic. The sport naturally gravitated around him as being the face of track and field, and you know, well deserved when you run what he did.
And they are. Morris Green as expected. But Usain Bolt is just right there.
His prime was in 2009. Now the animation looks a little crazy. His head, he has no neck, but you know, still respect a motion athlete. I can't do this, so.
He moves back.
So 60-meter split, 6.31 compared to Maurice Green's 6.40. And actually, there was a new analysis done that says that Usain Bolt's 60 split was actually closer to 6.29, which is a difference, obviously. Yo, what up, CJ Ortega? What's good?
Checking the field. Through the line.
And that distance is crazy. Again, 9:58.
9.58.
Usain wins with a margin of 2.44 meters or 8 feet. And that's a huge distance in such a short sprint at such high speeds. Oh. 2010s, Usain versus Usain. Excited to see this matchup, right? Because no one else really compares. So, wait, what? See, this is what I mean. There he is again. Having fun, enjoying the crowd. The crowd's enjoying him. This is not typical of track athletes being this, charisma is the word that I'll use, being this loved by masses, right? Everybody enjoys watching the 100 during the Olympics, but everybody loved watching Usain no matter when. And that's a huge difference from many athletes. 2012 was a great year for him. 2009 versus 2012. One more note for Usain. I think it's called the man's fastest man alive. It's a channel that goes behind the scenes for world championships in 2008, I believe. It's an excellent documentary. Look, he's even making fun of himself there.
I can't believe I'm seeing this.
Bolt versus Bolt.
And the Usain Bolt.
Oh, they got a fan view. This is cool. Nice job, motion athlete. This is cool.
Usain Bolt, but he will not give up. So wow, the 2009 Usain Bolt is just too
2012 Usain runs 9.63.
fast.
Only 58 centimeters, 1 feet, 11 inches behind 2009 Bolt. 2020s. Wait, this decade isn't over yet. I know, but we've already seen some crazy fast times. That's true. It's 2026. The decade is not over yet. We still have 2028 Olympics coming up in LA. Oblique Seville became world champion just 1 week ago. That's another runner from Jamaica who was posting very fast times, very competitive times, but could not put it together in terms of his start. And he finally got it together when it mattered the most at World Championships. That's him. That's Kashane Thompson, but Kashane Thompson still has one of the best times of 2020. You see our guy in the back there, Noah Lyle. Kashane Thompson of Jamaica. Only 24 years old. It's very impressive. You know, sprinters peak, you know, around that 24 to 33 range. So he has a good 10 more years in him. And then after that, it begins to go downhill unless you use some exogenous hormones. .975 for Kashane, but wind, shoes, and track. So the shoes matter. The track also matters. There are tracks that are just faster than others. Obviously, the wind matters. And altitude matters because at higher altitudes, there's less density, there's less resistance. You should run a little faster, jump a little further, a little higher. Can influence performances. Let's remove the wind and the altitude. Okay, so they're going to simulate no wind and no altitude. This is based on the work of Jonas Murica. Shout out Jonas. In this simulation, I did not take into account temperature, the difference between physical altitude and density, altitude, barometric pressure, and relative humidity. The evolution of shoe technology was also ignored. Every athlete reacts differently to these conditions. This is only speculation and based on averages for curiosity purposes. Let's go ahead and look at it. You can't. Yeah, it's tough, as he said, as they said, Jonas. It's tough to take into account all these conditions. It's almost a little pointless just because there's so many other factors to vary in as well. So, but let's see what Jonas was able to do. Got some nice glasses and emotes there. Emoji. a quote unquote fair race. Also, you want to talk about fairness. What about making everyone the same height? Usain at 6'4" with longer strides and just a slightly slower turnover means he goes way faster. And Usain still on top with Usain in second. And Kashane in third, followed by Maurice Green. How cool. So how cool to see these Titans go at it back to back, or not back to back. How cool to see these Titans go at it, line up, and give it everything they got, and we can compare and see with this simulation. Now, the question I have is, do you think anyone from this era will touch the 9.58 ran by Usain Bolt? My personal opinion is no shot, but I don't know. You got some fast Jamaicans coming up in Oblique Seville and Kashane Thompson. Of course, you have Noah Lyles, who has excellent top end speed. Takes him a little while to get going in comparison to his competitors. He would blow any of us out of the water. But do you think anyone will come close to Usain's time? Again, I say not even close, but would love to see it. Okay, we won't have time to go over the University of Georgia women's sprints, but I just wanted to share the short so we can see the preview for tomorrow's Thursday. Probably Friday for me, actually. It's crazy. I'm trying to figure out how to be consistent here in terms of going live. We are now in track season, and I do coach track IRL, so a little bit tough to show up. I'm on the West Coast also, so we get done with practice at 6 and it's 9 for my East Coasters, and I get home and eat dinner, or even just getting home right now it's 9:30 for the East Coasters, so it's a little challenging to be on live at appropriate times for all locations, but I'm doing my best to figure out what that is, what that looks like with track season being in play. Let's watch this. Coach Carol Smith, second to none, in my opinion, as far as coaching in terms of technical skills, in terms of motivational skills, in terms of building a dynamic team, right? Because it's different to train one athlete compared to being in charge of a whole team. There's different things that you have to consider. So let's watch the short.
No matter what goes on, something gonna happen. Can you handle it? Runners, take your mark. Come on! Brett, move! Is that right? You just rushing out other than trying to race. Push! Keep it move! Good! Y'all done got strong and quick, boys. Push! Move! Push! Move! That's the workout today!
Awesome. I'm excited to watch that as well. Wish I had a bit more time today. Unfortunately, I do not. But I do have time to go over the viewer submission for the day. So this is Speed Lab Community. If you don't know, this is where you can submit your film, or you can get some work in the classroom. You can learn about fundamentals of sprinting. You can learn how to program. You can learn how to become unstoppable. And so this is the community that we have. See Brian, extremely active. Got myself. Got David there, got other people submitting their film and just sharing, because there's really like 3 pillars to speed and running fast, right? You have what you do on the track or on the field as far as how you get faster. Of course, explosive power and weightlifting is a part of the journey, but this journey is so hard, it's so difficult, and it takes a long time. The third factor that people do not consider is accountability. you have to have accountability partners, whether that's a coach or a teammate or a community, just like Speed Lab. So we have accountability posts, commitment cards, which we're developing so that we can share our commitments, we can share our accountability posts, and understand that the work never stops, even when we're tired. Okay. So we have Zykel here. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, Zykel, but he shared this footage of block start. Zykel runs 11.0, 11.1, I believe he said. So we're going to look at this block start for Zykel and show him what he needs to do to improve, because he's got great start, but seems to fall onto one foot in particular on his second step. And so I'm going to show him how to not do that, because I have stuff ready to show about that. Let me just put up. Aha. All right. Stick with me. There we go. Okay. So here's Zykel's starts. Again, I'm sorry, Zykel, if I'm saying your name wrong, just correct me. This is Zykel, Zykel. I'm going to say Zykel for now. So Zykel wants to run 10.8. And we're going to help get him there. So we've got him in his block starts here. So this is not a horrible position to be in. This is nice. Loading of the pedals. One note, Zykel, is I might bring these toes down here to at least be touching the track, because watch what you're going to do. Right before it's time to go, you drop your hips back. Okay, so we have to eliminate that movement there, Zykel, and then you push off the blocks. So what you want to do is be loaded on the pedals as though you're in the bottom of a squat or the bottom of a clean pull and about to pull the bar up. And so you don't waste any movement, like this little drop there. Did you see that? Oh, did these blocks move also? You might need your boy back there to stand on the blocks for you. Okay, but that's what we have to get rid of, that little dip down. I like the way you load the pedals. I like the arm motion. I like the angles. The hips look decently high. I just might suggest that this foot and this foot go down, so that not that big toe is on the track, but you want some sort of connection to the track to see if that helps you eliminate that little down motion that you just did. Now this is a great position to be in, Zykel. Excellent job. What am I drawing lines for, right? Boom. You have that straight line, that triple extension of the ankle, the knee, the hip. Nice forward arm swing. Good job attacking back on the track. Now watch this. Left arm. So very different arm motion here. Look at the left arm, how close it is to your body. I'm speaking particularly about your left elbow. Look at your left elbow, Zykel. Look at how the distance that it punches forward, right? You can see a little bit of space right there. Okay. And then as a result, look at the difference here. Okay. Not not extended, pushing all the way off. Well, let's see. I'll give you some more benefit of the doubt there, some little more juice. But look at the angles here. Boom, 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 right? So pay attention to that. Now let's go ahead and shoot you forward. And so Zykel asked me, he's like, hey, I can't seem to get my second step. I'm always falling on my second step. And what I told him is that it's not the only thing that's wrong, or not the only thing. The main thing that's wrong about this that's going to help you improve is having that left arm swing through like the right arm. Now, look at that. Okay. Now look at the distance from this elbow to the hip. Okay. And that's going to help you push much better off the track. And one other note that I did not tell you that I'm just now seeing is that this foot is waiting for the ground, but it should be right. Once you get open like this, you need to have a little bit more active hamstring to snap that foot back this way. And that will help you attack back. That's what they mean by attacking back on the track. There's Zykel. And then if we move forward again, look how conservative this left arm is. Okay. So we got to fix that left arm. How are we going to do that? Very easy. We're going to start with walking accelerations. Walking. Walk. How the hell do you say that? Am I just being crazy right now? Maybe. Okay, so this is all might get a little fuzzy, but I have 4K examples in SpeedLab. I'm going to have 4K examples uploaded into SpeedLab. I just have to upload them for you and for everyone else who wants to learn about acceleration, right? Because even if you have the perfect block start, if your early acceleration is not, even if you have a perfect block start, if your early acceleration, right, if you get left during the dry phase, then you have problems with early acceleration. And these 3 drills are going to help you improve your early acceleration. So the very first one will be walking. Now notice my arms, right? Walking limits you a little bit because I can't walk and fire that foot back underneath me. I guess I can, right? So what you see here is look at this angle, right? I also need to fire my hamstring so that that foot comes back under my body. But look at my arms. Look at the separation here. And I say elbow because that ultimately is what matters most. People are going to say your arms, your hands, but for me, it's always about the elbows. Look at the distance again. Elbow fires back. Look at the distance again. Elbows fire back. Now what I'm going to do is just play that back in regular speed so you can see. Now that was me. Let me give you the example of one of my clients who needs this kind of work. You see, when he starts to go, he gets all weird and he's pushing up instead of forward. There you go. He got into a rhythm a little bit there. But he's picking that heel up as well. So we also get to work on low heel recovery. So look at my heel. As I move through this motion, that heel swings through, doesn't step over. Okay. If you fast forward to my athlete. Why? Pay attention to his heel. That one wasn't bad, but we'll look at the beginning. And he has a tendency to cycle out of the blocks. See, he just picked that foot up. Okay. So those are walking accelerations. For this workout, I believe we did 4 times, what is that, 10-yard walking accelerations. And then we have what I call hopping or pausing early accelerations. They're called I call them hopping. Okay, hopping. Boom and freeze. Boom and freeze. Boom. So my arms are in motion again. We're working on low heel recovery. We're working on elbow separation. I want my elbows to be as far apart as they can be without being like a goofball, right? That elbow separation is not horrible, but not great either. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I'm also working on landing and pausing. That's gonna help me. That's gonna help prevent me from collapsing into the ground on these. Boom. Right? Look familiar? Yay. It should. This is a drive phase. Okay. Walking, hopping early accels. That's me. Here's another one of my athletes. He can't seem to get the low heel recovery concept down, but it just takes reps like anything else, right? And this is another one of my athletes, and she actually has the low heel recovery down a bit better than he does. She just can't get the pause. But again, that's okay. It's just reps. And then that evolves into those. So they're basically just bounds. In a drive phase, almost like speed bounds. Boom, 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 boom. Low heel recovery, arms, just like a drive phase. So now all I have to work on is getting into those positions from the blocks. You see her, she's not horrible at it. What you're going to see him do is cycle as he has a tendency to do, and it's going to feel weird and he's going to pop up. See, so his angles are very much you can see, right? His angles are very much up this way. Whereas you see my angles are very much more that way. Okay. So that was for Zykel, who shared his film in our Speed Lab community. Right? So this is Zykel. And again, the real pitch here, the real reason, the main reason you should come join is there's like, first of all, I know what I'm doing as far as speed and jumping is concerned. I have very much faith in my ability to coach and perform well in those areas. But there's a ton of coaches that can do well, and ones that are better than I am, of course, who I learn from continually. And there are Olympians and things of that nature who end up coaching and have tips and tricks that I don't know, that I learn from. You see Coach Carol, who we're going over Friday. She's someone I continually learn from, and I have great mentors. But it's not the real reason to come join something like Speed Lab is for the accountability. Again, because there's 100,000 sprint gurus and weight gurus, and some of them are good and some of them are not. But it's so much information, it's hard to distill what's happening, which is why we have our classroom here. And even more important than that is the community of people that are doing things like what you want to do, like David here. We got some PRs from David. That's awesome. We have Brian getting in some 100 reps and some 60s and 40s, making his way down from a longer distance and getting back into sprinting after not having sprinted well for a while. So that's the main reason, is for the accountability and community. So that's great. Thanks for stopping by. As I said, I'll see you Friday. Hopefully also tomorrow. I'll let you know. But peace. Thank you. See you next time.